We were on this program sometimes last week. We were discussing the problem, the speech of the president on the 1st of January, and we seem to delve too much into the election of 2015. And I remember vividly in my concluding remark that to me, the issue of the election and the problem of insurgency, to me, are not the major challenges confronting Nigeria in 2015. And that the major challenges controlling Nigeria and Nigerians in 2015 is the economy. If you have been following the trend of events in the past 9-10 months, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, the FAACC, that's the Federal Allocation and Something Committee, comprising the ministers and the commissioners of finance in all the states, across the states, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, they will get to their monthly meeting, and what they will meet on the table is just what an NPC has brought to the table for them to share, not what the Constitution said they should share. It got so bad that many of the states were coming back to their respective states, capitals, with half of their revenue allocation for the month. And Nigerians kept quiet. It got so bad that in the past 3 months...
They almost tell you walk out.
At times, even there was time they threatened to go to court. Since after the Shagari era, when the General Buhari and the Idagon came in, and they met backlog of unpaid salaries, for the first time in the history of Nigeria since that time, this time around, states are not able to pay salaries. To the extent that even the federal government was not able to pay its staff for the December.
They have not paid.
They have not. So Nigerians should know that, yes, election is coming. But the major challenges confronting Nigeria in 2015 will be the economy. Why? Because in the past few months, the crude oil, the international price had come down. I listened to a renowned economist, Mr. Bismarck Rewani, some few days back. And the man said, Nigerians don't even know that there's a big problem ahead of them. It is not because it's not the first time we will find ourselves in this situation. You remember under Yaradua, there was a time the thing was selling for $39 per barrel. But he said, unfortunately, the current government is not prepared for the hard times. And that's exactly what the former president said.
Dipo, on the contrary, Jide, I listened to the finance minister. She was saying if the thing should go to $70 per barrel, that they have a shock absorber for it. 65, they have a contingency plan. 60, there's even something that has been put in place to make sure that we don't feel the direct impact of this.
And the only thing I've heard that they plan to do is to go to the World Bank and get a loan to finance this budget, the 2015 budget. That appears to me like the only gambit that they have. But right now, how do the states navigate this big problem?
I think, Jide, I wouldn't want us to go into hardcore economics. Dipo led us to that. Why is Obasanjo?
You asked me a question about what they plan to do. Maybe their own plan is to go to the World Bank. Of course, these people can give a generous loan, a loan with
net-breaking interest.
No, they don't do that. A loan that you can pay over a very long period. Look at Manchester United, for example. You know it's heavily indebted. But the repayment plan is so good that the club does not even feel it. Maybe that's the sort of loan that they want to go and take abroad to finance the 2015 budget. Then they will continue to hope that maybe there will be a rebound in the international oil prices. So that is for them. But I'm concerned because the bulk of the workforce is not with the federal government. It's with the states. Now, if you solve that problem for the federal government, what do the states do? Now, people should be worried, and I don't entirely agree that Nigerians don't think that economy is such a big issue. Look, when you ask people, will you vote for Jonathan, or what will influence your choice of candidate? They tell you that their situation has not gotten better since 2011. That is saying that their individual economies, if it could be so couched, have not really improved. So they know, everyone knows where the shoe pinches For many people around here, honestly, the insurgency is not really a big issue. It doesn't directly affect them. But the rising prices of goods and services directly affect those people. So economy is a big issue. And in an election year like this, there is no way you can wish it away. You must talk about it. People will ask you.
We need all this while, and why is Olusegun Obasanjo just raising it 39 days to
Obasanjo has problems with Jonathan. You see, Professor Soyinka described Obasanjo as a very dishonest and lying person, a serial liar. You see, he says these things, we know he's saying the truth. But the reality is, he's saying these things now because of the crisis in his home state. The president has chosen to align with Buruji Kashamu, his arch enemy. And he's saying Buruji Kashamu is a fraudulent person. I can't have a fraudulent person as the leader of my party in my state. And he wants to force the president to drop this man. And those ones have refused to do that because Kashamu has been the one financing the party all this while. So he has an axe to grind on that score. He has publicly said
as a result, he resigned as a BOT chairman.
Yes, he resigned in frustration.
And he has been passive.
What those guys...
And he's still maintaining that he's a member of PDP.
Ayo, the hawks around Jonathan have effectively shut him out of decision making. If you read Shehu Shagari's book, you see the kind of comments he made about Obasanjo. That Obasanjo he assumes that he knows it all, and he will never allow you to run your government. He will keep criticizing you. Even this Buhari that is there, Buhari, I've read an interview that Buhari did recently where he described Obasanjo as a know-it-all. That even when they at meetings, the way he talks, everybody will see that arrogance. He thinks that nobody is as good as he is. That is the best thing to happen to Nigeria since sliced bread. Now, the reality is the problems that he has with them, this is the way he's getting back at them. I'm not saying that he's not saying the truth. Of course, we know it's the truth. But the reality is that he's part of the problem. He brought, of all the candidates, the eligible candidates, the Donald Dukes of this world, if you are looking for people from the South, the Odile and the rest of them, Donald Duke, young, vibrant, energetic, somebody who can, you saw what he did in Cross River. Cross River was not a rich state. You know, you saw what he did with Tinapa. If Tinapa had been in a place like Lagos, you will have known the value of Tinapa. But that's a poor state in one corner of Nigeria. But he did well. You didn't think he was good enough. You now went and brought somebody like Jonathan, who could barely express himself, even though he has a PhD. Now, this is the person that you've given us. Now you want Nigerians to forget all of that. He is part of the problem. He's part of the problem.
Really, I think Obasanjo is in a better position to answer that question. That why is he just telling us this now in an election year? Of course, like Jide said, we've all known this all along. But he's not telling us anything new. But in his characteristic manner of wanting to prove to the world that, see, I am Mr. Nigeria. There's nothing in this country that's
Mr. Nigeria, that's what you are calling.
No,
your exact words.
That's what he feels. That's what he feels. That anything in Nigeria, look at me, Obasanjo. I have solution to it all. I know everything, even beyond, even more than the people in government. But this is an election year. I think in no time Obasanjo will lose relevance. I think he's struggling with the fact that they have not been giving him that role, that opportunity of making certain decisions in the party, especially at the state level. So he's trying to. Okay, fine. If you are not giving, we don't even know where he belongs right now. Is he a PDP member or an APC person? If he's a PDP member, he shouldn't come.
That's what makes it worse. That's what makes it worse.
We really don't know.
Looking at it, General Obasanjo started with this epistle of a letter, and in that letter, if you remember, he made so many allegations, and which President Jonathan took his time, replied. After the letter, I have 3 volumes of book in my house now.
Very voluminous book.
1,500 pages. It's personally autographed it for me. Obasanjo autographed it for me. I've not finished reading that one. My watch. Now, it's not up to 2 months after releasing my watch. Now you have him calling the market women to make this.
It's just unfortunate that in the history of Nigeria, I think the current history of Nigeria, or let me say current story of Nigeria.
He's doing more than the opposition.
We still have time to discuss. I'm sorry to say it, without any intention to impugn integrity. It is still unfortunate that we have cause, or we will sit down and be discussing Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
Is a factor.
Yes, because well, the way Nigeria is
a factor.
Configured.
Yes.
Yeah.
In other lands,
2 times president, military president.
Look at the positive impact you were able to make here when you were there. That is the issue. Like Jide said, if you are talking about the problem of this country, I think he has a larger share to.
But you can't take everything away from him.
No, nobody is disputing.
There are some things that they are enjoying today.
I was just coming to that.
The foundation was laid by
I was just coming to that, Ayo, that even with all these inadequacies, you must realize that Obasanjo was a general and is a general. And when I mean a general in the army, Obasanjo knows how to and when to deliver the killer punch. I remember vividly when the issue of late Yaradua was on the table, Nigerians were struggling, and all of a sudden, some people like Ibori were able to cage the president. Obasanjo felt betrayed. Just like what he's expressing now, he was left out of the corridors of power. And the man came out and said,
he asked Yaradua to resign.
You know, he did not even. They said, you know, of all the people in the world, he was the only one that had access to Yaradua even on his sickbed, courtesy of the American president and the Saudi authorities. Even when they didn't allow our senators to see him, he saw it and he was able to see Yaradua. And it was an opportunity for him. He came out and said, and I wanted to quote him, that if you know you cannot continue, why don't you resign? That's what's to do for you. He knows how to position himself for the incoming administration so that he will be relevant. Yes. Now he has been shot out of the corridors of power under Jonathan. And he's now delivering what I would call the killer punch. Whether you like it or not. That thing he said day before yesterday, or what yesterday, was a killer punch.
And all the papers today had it.
No, it was a killer punch.
Headline story.
And the man was able to say something. And you see, it is very instructive that this is coming just about some few days after Reverend Baka's bombshell. So it's like, and don't forget that towards the end of last year, Chief Christopher Kolade, a highly respectable Nigerian, came out and said, this president is not fit to rule. Because he has seen it all. He was a member of the Shuapi, even the pioneering chairman. And the man said what he saw under his watch,
is not in doubt.
To borrow Obasanjo's word, what he saw under his watch as the chairman of Shuapi, that this man is not fit to rule. And don't forget that before then, the former, the Cardinal Okogie, I read his interview, where he said that in 2011, the President Jonathan came to him, and he told him that, oh, you will win the elections, but the problem is you will not be able to rule. Jide was able to say it just in passing. We don't mean to impugn the integrity of the president. If you're talking about the way Nigeria is configured, President Jonathan is not in the right frame of mind to rule Nigeria. And that's exactly what played out. And Okogie said he told him, you will win, but you will not be in power. But the point is, after 2015, don't venture into coming back. So if you look at this systematic bombshell that are coming, you will know that there's something that is at play. And what is at play is there's the need for Nigerians to rescue this country. I am saying this, I'm not a politician. This country must be put in capable hands in the next few months, or else only God knows what will happen to Nigeria.
Let me take Fred from Ikeja, Abi Ikpaja. Hello, Fred.
Good day, gentlemen.
Thank you for joining E-15, Fred.
Yeah, good day, gentlemen. Compliment of the season.
Same to you, Fred.
Yeah, actually, what you've been saying is a very vital point. But take it or leave it, we are having the wrong people in the right places. Somebody like Okunjo Owela to the candidate should be out of anything ministry, federal ministry concerning financial aspects. The person that cannot even place a benchmark on petroleum price, that's ridiculous for Nigeria, your own Nigeria. Take it or leave it. Right. At least during Obasanjo regime, if they base their benchmark on 50-something they were selling during Obasanjo regime, at least Nigeria should be having over $100 billion in their account. Yes. Without federal project that they should just be putting their hands and be spending lavishly. Now it's accusing them of 25 billion wasted. And I bet you they cannot even defend it because they couldn't defend the 20 billion missing. So it's just ridiculous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Jide, the Emir of Kano right now, first of all, told us about $120 billion, and Okonjo-Iweala came out and said, no, it wasn't up to that. I think she has agreed on $10 billion. At the end of the day, the Senate Committee on Appropriation also came out saying that finance, that nothing is missing. Back and forth, back and forth. What do we believe, Jide?
On the issue of 20 billion missing, the former CBN governor goofed horribly. In fact, he should be ashamed of himself, because as the custodian of the finances of the country, you should actually not make such mistakes. Nigeria, but he misled Nigerians, and it's not the first time. Sometime before then, he accused the National Assembly of spending a quarter of Nigeria's earnings every year, recurrent expenditure. Then they now told him that, look, you were wrong. When he looked at the figures, he now claimed that his aides misled him. But you know what Sanusi did? Sanusi now wrote an apology letter to the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Alhaji Ahmed Mohamed Makarfi, apologizing, for the mistake. The former governor of Kaduna State, apologizing for that mistake that he made. You accused them in public, but you went behind to send an apology letter to them. But Makarfi, being a politician and a smart man, he released that apology letter to Punch, and Punch did a story with it. You see, we had a CBN governor, very radical, but he can be very brash and sometimes unsteady. So there's nothing like 20 billion missing. But
something is missing.
No, it's nothing missing. Just wait now. You asked me a question. On that Senate committee, we had even APC members like Senator Abubakar Olusola Saraki. And they said, no, this money is not missing. It's that this money, some of them were even royalty, unpaid royalties. They explain everything. If you would do a little bit of investigation, you now see the explanation of the Senate committee. You know that first time when they met, and he faced the Okonjo-Iweala, he was rattled. He said yes, but after I said this now, he mentioned 40 billion then. After I said at least now we are getting somewhere. And the woman said, you could have asked me, and I will have told you, because some of those issues were issues that he had little knowledge about. Because when it comes to oil matters, this and that, there is even peculiar language that not everybody, is conversant with. So the Senate Committee on Finance established that the idea of 20 billion missing is a lie, and they explained where that money is kept. Maybe in our subsequent program, if we are interested, I will bring, because I have those facts. We can discuss this extensively, because for me, I feel sad when I see that Nigerians have been misled and people talk about 20 billion missing here and there, and it's not true. And nobody is talking about the fact that even their own elected representatives, including radical ones like Olusola Saraki, who do not, Abubakar Saraki, Bukola Saraki, who cannot be said to be friends with this government, established that the CBN governor goofed. It's right there in black and white.
Okay, let me take this Olushola from First Stack. Hello, Shola. Okay, Shola gone. Dikwa, way forward. Now, I understand that President Olusegun Obasanjo, that they are trying to reach out, the People's Democratic Party, they are trying to reach out to him so that, they mend this before the 25 billion of yesterday. Now, how relevant is Olusegun Obasanjo to the success of the campaign of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan?
In politics, like the Yorubas will say, there's this popular Yoruba program on one radio station. The guy will say, "Inu Oshelu, Bare da so Oshelu Oshelu, Bare Bosibi ni wa no Oshelu," meaning that in politics you try to accommodate everybody. Yes, and you don't ask anybody to go. That's why you see that somebody will be in party A today, he will go to party B tomorrow, he comes back to party A tomorrow, the next day after tomorrow they will receive him. But I think it will be very foolhardy for any Nigerian politician that is gunning for the office of the presidency to believe that Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is not relevant. I think that person will be doing that at his own peril. Because you see, the brand of politics we play in Nigeria has not been able to allow individuals to form their opinions. When I say of voters especially, the bulk of the voters comes from this class, the artisans, the market women, the rural areas. And unfortunately, in our politics of today, even as of today, you have individuals that determine where these votes will go into. Yeah, we have people like you and I that can say, oh, this is the candidate I'm going to vote for. And that's exactly why some parties will continue to make headways, because they have structures that permeate the grassroots. And these are the areas where they win elections. But as for the message that is coming from Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, some of us are enjoying it. And because when they were friends, I always ask Nigerians, when these guys were friends, did they benefit Nigeria? No. Let us see them and enjoy this dance naked in the public. And that is when some of us are getting the tools. Because Professor Nwabueze said something which I think Nigerians should always hold on to. He said if Nigerians, and when he said Nigerians, he means the generality of Nigerians, know half of what he knows about government in Nigeria, that this country will go up in flames.
Thank you, Digbo. At this point, let's take a break as we sign up on TVC Entertainment. But the program continues on TVC News Nigeria. Simply tune into channel 190 on Concert and continue to enjoy the show. We'll be right back.